Hey everybody, how's it going? Alright, I'm going to show you the settings for Altium Designer. This is part 2 of this series, just going in depth in the settings. So with Altium Designer open, let's go to the gear box. And before I do that, actually, let me open up my schematic. Okay, I have a project open. If I don't want some of these things here, like messages and whatnot, I can turn off these panels or delete them. Like I can uncheck that. Wait. Okay, no. I can right click and close messages, right click, close PCB filter, right click, close Explorer, and what else? Turn off Navigator. That's annoying. Let's go back to panels and turn on projects. Cool. All right. Let's go to Tools and then Preferences. If you haven't seen my video where I covered the system settings already, you want to check out that video, so be sure to do that. What I'm going to cover is data management. It's very cool. So in general, data management has to do with your files, your libraries, and version control and all that. So let's get into it. Version control. You can use SVN or Subversion for version control. That's something that started, I want to say the 80s, 90s. I'm not sure. Somewhere around there. Something like that. For version control of files. And I think it started for programming or code. Don't quote me on that. But I use a version control or SVN for my hardware projects and a lot of our hardware projects when I was working at a company, a certain company. Okay. So that's a useful thing. That's set up for version control. Which one you choose is up to you. And what is version control? Version control pretty much just allows you to save multiple versions successively or backups, and then of your hardware design or your project files, right? Kind of like GitHub has multiple versions of things, and you can commit changes. It's like that, and then you can go back in time to different versions of your design. All right. Design repositories. Yeah, this is a repository like the Altium 365 Git. See how I mentioned Git earlier? This is the equivalent to Git, and this is where your storage is. You can create new SVN storage points and whatnot. So you may want to set something up like a local network for your team. If you're at work, right? You'll have your local thing that you can set up. Have your IT people set it up, or you can set it up if you're good with technology like that. Servers. I'm using my Hasofu server. Okay. Kirsch Mackie, Altium 365. And it's on and active. Let me see. Can I turn this? No. No, I don't want to sign out. Okay. All right. So for Altium Content Vault, there's that. It's connected. I can change my properties, server configuration, life cycles. I'm not messing with any of that. Automatically connect Altium Content Vault. I like that, so I'll keep it that way. Folder for temporary file storage during release generation. Okay, so what is Altium 365? It's pretty much Altium's cloud thing, where they can store things in the cloud, parts in the cloud, designs in the cloud for you, and the Altium cloud. Some people don't like it as much because it was buggy, and it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better. I haven't really noticed many bugs, but I only manage my parts up there for the most part. But hey, I've been doing pretty fine. So if you had a different experience, let us know. A lot of people were not happy with 365. Publishing destinations. Yeah. I mean, you can add things like box.com, a specific folder, file transfer protocol or FTP, and Amazon, web services and whatnot. You can get more publishers. I don't deal with all that. I don't even mess with this. But you can add these different things. Say you have a box. Your client insists on using box.com. So it's like, this is an option. This is really why I like Altium, because it's really, really good for freelance design. Like, it's all in one. It's super inclusive, all this stuff. Like, it's really nice. And it's nice because it makes things easy for you and easy for your client. All right. For backup, autosave every 30 minutes, number of versions to keep. This is where your path for your local backup would be. Honestly, I would keep this in a different folder that's not in my hidden app data folder. I don't like to go into hidden app data roaming, blah, 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 and all that just to find stuff. I put this in a different folder, but no need because, well, it's a good idea. It's always a good idea to have backups. So might want to do that. Even though I have the cloud, we had like a sort of, I don't want to call it ice storm. Yeah, an ice storm. And I was without power for a few days, 4 or 5 days, I think a week. And so let's say I'm not able to go to a place that has good Wi-Fi or internet. A lot of places were without power. I would want my files locally and backed up in case I make a mistake. Anyway, long-winded way of saying back up your stuff if you want. Enable file locking. Really cool feature. And this is all self-explained, so you can read through it and you'll get the idea. But you can lock your files. Number of days to keep documents in history. Yeah, this is pretty good. You can have a global repository again in this weird folder, but I don't mess with it. Here are the templates. They're really nice. Now, I would have covered this in the system setting for a new document or something. This would come under new document defaults and then go to templates, and it takes you to data management and templates. I really like the ANSI B and ANSI C landscape thing. It's just my thing, man. Like, let me show you. Click OK. And if I want to add a new schematic page or something, right? Add new to project, schematic. I get my ANSI going, right? Actually, let's make sure this is what I'm actually looking at. For the schematic, general sheet size B, no. Okay. It doesn't automatically do the thing, so it makes me wonder, do I need to go into panels and properties? Then if I want, I can change the format to like a template, and then has SOFU, top sheet, or I could go local. Anyway, has SOFU, next sheet, ANSI B or something, right? I could choose to just this document, do not update parameters, click OK. Now I have the template that I like. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this one. Maybe it's for new projects, but hey, anyhow. It should work. Let's go to Tools, Preferences, and we're going back into Templates. All right. So that's what these are. Now, how is this beneficial? You can actually add a schematic template, BOM template, custom to whatever you want. You can load from a file. Like, let's say if I chose, click OK to close preferences, open the template editor. That's fine. This goes into editing some templates. So if you have a title block with your logo on it and all that, then that's how that works. Then you can add that template to that list of templates, use that template, just like how I did here for your properties. You click on the schematic, click on property, choose template that you created, and then you do your thing. Okay, cool. Hopefully that was clear. If not, I apologize. FileBased Libraries. For FileBased Libraries, what does this refer to? Libraries refer to the part like schematic symbol and footprint libraries, PCB footprint libraries. So let's say I want let's say I want to add a new PCB library, like right click, add new to project, schematic library, right? I said PCB library, but I meant schematic library. And I want to add a part like resistor 30 ohm, something like that. Our designator is R question mark, right? And a comment is something. Then I say resistor, and I can place, let's say a line or something like this. right? And then place 2 pins. And there we go. Worst resistor, like the worst looking resistor in the world. I want to do this better actually. Let's place his tab. I changed the color of the line to blue actually. Continue. Hold on the shift key. Maybe it's control. Something like that, you know, who cares? My terrible looking resistor. Good enough, right? So I save a schematic library in my public kame imu folder, and then we'll call this a dummy library. So dummy library, dummy lib. This has a schematic symbol in it. And then I can add more schematic symbols and whatnot, but let's go back to our project. That's my schematic library. Right click, I can, If I right click, I can add new to project PCB library. And then this PCB library would have footprints and so on and so forth. Okay, now with these two libraries, right? They have a schematic library and a PCB library. I can compile them to make an integrated library. And that's where that comes from. So let's get back into our settings. File-based libraries. These libraries then are saved locally to your local hard drive. And it shows us which ones get shown or added to the project automatically, or just in the software automatically all the time. How can we demonstrate this? Let me show you. Since they're there all the time, right? Let's go to our power thing, and then you can go to panels, components. Then the libraries will appear right here. Dummy schematic library, miscellaneous devices, so on and so forth. 28 pins project. Shout out to Robert Faranek for that amazing course. Really nice. And so, yeah, that's what that's about. This is the libraries that are always present. Let's go back into our tool settings as the gear icon, device sheets. For the device sheets, I am not going to get into that. All right, SVN Libraries. Yeah, this is, I would imagine, self-explanatory. So just read it. In order to modify the component symbols installed in the repository, these files are checked out from a repository in a directory of your choice. Okay, for your SVN version control, how do I say this? When we were using SVN at a previous job of mine, you could check out a hardware design or folder or files. They're all files anyway, and the folders hold the files. And you can check them back in. So if somebody was messing with the file at the time, then you kind of don't want others messing with it, or there's an overlap or something. So if you have more in-depth knowledge about SVN, leave a comment below, share your insights, your thoughts and whatnot. But that's how it did. I prefer a Dropbox or a cloud solution. That's my personal thing, because Dropbox has versions and stuff, I believe. No, not I believe, they do. And OneDrive is like very secure compared to like Google Drive or something, where Google Drive, they might scan your files. I think Google Drive scans your files. So, yeah. All right. Next we have our parts providers. This is the coolest feature in my opinion, for Altium Designer. When I can go and say that I want to get parts from DigiKey, just search them within the software. I don't have to go to the DigiKey website and then download the files, see what parts are there, what parts have models that I can download. Usually not the cheapest parts that have models and all that other stuff. No, you can skip all that and go into here, activate this, and here's the benefit. Instead of me creating schematic symbols for every single little thing, I can go to Panels, Manufacturer Part Search, Passive Components, and get actual components from Kemet. Or, I can click on here, right click and choose Place. And then place it. Then this part will have all the information for that part. So if I hover over properties for the part, and I have my parameters. So wait a second, let's pin this. What's going on here? Click on it. There we go. All the part information is loaded. So we have the description, the comment, which is the manufacturer part number, category, automotive, temperature range. Just magnificent. All right. And then we have the parts, choices. So this is really cool. And the data sheet. Man, it's good, man. Like it's really good, I gotta say. This data sheet is taking a while to load. Anyway, let's get going. Tools, preferences. You can choose which companies or vendors show up. Allspec, Avnet. I like to go with Arrow Electronics. They're really good. Then there is... Wait, that's Allied Electronics. I like to go with Arrow and Allied, yeah. Arrow for sure. I think they have the biggest database of parts. I can't. As far as I'm aware a few years ago. DigiKey, absolutely DigiKey. Hands down. Who else? Mauser's really good, especially since I can get stuff to Texas a lot faster. The rest of these things, Samtec is good as well. And those are the four main ones, honestly. Okay, cool. Component types. Yeah, where does this apply? So with the component types, Altium categorizes your components that you have in your project to, say, different types. Yeah, and that would be anywhere from audio parts to capacitors to connectors. This is the local and general sort of cloud library. And here's some templates. You can click on that and then choose blah, blah, blah. You can do crazy stuff. Where does this apply? So you click OK, go to your components, go to Panels, Components, and then there you have it. Then you can go in your categories. Wait a second. Go to All. There we go. And All shows you the different types of components, capacitors, connectors. Yeah, and then you can add certain categories, new categories and stuff for parts you don't really know where to put them. You can put them on categories or make new categories. That's how you set that up. Component rule checks. Yeah, this one is a doozy. I just keep everything default. Now, invalid pin mappings is, for me, one of the biggest things that I had to get over and deal with. I did not understand what was causing my engineering change orders to go wrong. So let me show you. When I go to design in my schematic, and I'm trying to go to PCB, right? And I do update PCB, and then I have to validate my changes and execute the changes, and then something goes wrong. 9 times out of 10, it's because the pin numbers on the schematic symbol do not match the pin numbers or names, something like that, to the PCB footprint symbol. That needs to be corrected. Or there are just no PCB pin numbers or pin names on the part. So you have to check that. And you do that by going into your schematic library. You click on it, and then you check and make sure you say, hey, does this have, does pin 1 have or show, if you click on parameters here, let me see, general. Yeah, general, designator 1, name 1. Designator 0, name 0. Checking that it matches the footprint. And that the numbers are even there, you know. Going back into our settings, we have the end of it, really. Okay, that was data management. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.